Welcome to the Bitter to Better podcast. Today is challenge number 3 of the Empowered Dating Challenge, in which I challenge you to date casually. I will talk about what that means in a moment. But first, just know that on my website, coachtracy.life, which you can find the link for in the show notes, I now have a list of webinar registry, or really a webinar schedule, where you can register for my free Date Better as a Mom webinar. So what I am now doing is I will be running that webinar on a consistent schedule that's listed on my website, and people can register, and I will conduct the webinar on those dates, as long as there are enough people registered for me to do so. So just want to make you aware of that. In the show notes, you can get the link for the registration for Date Better as a mom. So just want to let you know about that. That will be an ongoing thing. I'm currently um, I've currently launched the Date Better program. I'm working with a few moms right now in that program. This round of it ends the last week of February, and I will be launching another round of it probably endish of March. Still figuring that part out. Um, I'm trying to be mindful of interruption to the program when I go to Vegas for my bachelorette and go to Mexico for my wedding. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just know that you can register for the Date Better as a Mom free webinar on my website. So let's get into it. If you listened some episodes ago, you will be able to hear, and I will link these also in the show notes, that I had an introduction to the Empowered Dating Challenge, and that I would have 4 challenges. And so this is challenge number 3. What do I mean by date casually? If you listen to this podcast at all or follow any of my content on the Instagrams and the TikToks, I don't really post on the TikToks very much, but anyway, um, then you would know that I'm a big proponent of dating casually, rotational dating, dating like a man, which is not getting exclusive too soon, not sliding or falling into relationships, not focusing only on one dating partner before you have made sure they've checked enough of your important boxes, right? So that means you are dating more than one person at a time. That does not mean you're in a relationship or committed to more than one person at a time, unless that is the lifestyle that you are aiming for. But I am talking to women, mothers who want a monogamous relationship. Then you should be dating multiple people in order to narrow down one person to exclusively date and to see if you then want to commit to that person in a relationship. You see that? That's 3 relationship categories that I just listed just there. There's casually dating, exclusively dating, and committed relationship. I'm saying you need to casually date. I'm challenging you to actually casually date. How do I do that? There's a lot of material on this here cast, the pod. To explain that, again, may link some of that as well. But ultimately, it is choosing to engage with guys, go out on dates with guys who you meet, and do that. And not just automatically give all of your time and energy to one guy while you're doing that. If you meet somebody else who's interested in going out with you and you're interested in going out with them, then you do that because you have not had conversations with or made any commitments to this other person who also has the right to casually date. When you meet each other, you have full lives going on. So the expectation that you meet someone who you like, you go on a date with them, and then suddenly all of your interactions with everybody else stops is unrealistic and not healthy, quite frankly. Um, and so you want to actually be like, hey, I'm going to go out to dinner with this person and dinner with this person, movies with this person, and, get to know these people, romantically interview them. Because remember, you are a human resource director of your life. You do not put out a job posting and just accept the first person who walks in and says, I'm right for the job. That would be dumb. That would be dumb. And it gets you in a bad place. Okay. And I'm speaking to moms, oftentimes women, of certain age and therefore certain life experience who can attest to the fact that that gets you in a bad place. Just sliding and slipping into those relationships, spending a bunch of time with somebody who you like, you have a good time, then you start merging your lives more and more together, whether it's financially, having children, moving in together, saying, "Oh yeah, we're exclusive, we're just with each other," when you have not made sure to check off all those other boxes. All those other boxes, some of the things I'm referring to are being able to notice the difference between a companion versus a partner. This is something that I've been recently talking about in these very particular terms. What do I mean? A companion is somebody who is fun to hang out with, you have a good time, you guys like each other's vibe and energy. I say here for a good time, not a long time, as a companion. A partner is a person who you build life with, who it makes sense to build life with. Now, I want to be clear, an ideal partner is both a good companion and a good partner. But a companion is only a companion and not a partner. What do I mean? That ideal partner list. At this point, you should know all about it. If you don't, maybe I'll link maybe I'll link it. But, um, you create the ideal partner list, you put all the preferences that you have for your ideal partner, and some of those things are gonna be things that are attuned to companionship. "Oh, I like, going out with him, he's funny, we have a good time," stuff like that. And a lot of those things should be things that you would want from a partner, someone who is reliable and responsible with their money, maybe they keep a house well, like, whatever the things are that are important to you, they would make a good step parent, or they're a good parent to their kids. These are partnership things. These are you're trying to build with somebody. Maybe they have similar life goals. Maybe they want home ownership like you do. Maybe career advancement, whatever your things are, that's partnership. And we make the mistake so often of trying to partner with someone who should only be a companion. And that's not a bad like companionship is not a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing. It needs to start with companionship. You don't know if you don't even get to the point of would they be a good partner if you don't like them enough to hang out with them and like they're not a good companion, right? But the issue is you're having fun and really enjoying this time and falling for this companion and you're like, "Oh yeah, let's try to do this life thing." That has ruined many a lives. So with that, let's try to do different. Let's casually date guys so you are sorting and sifting and vetting them in and out. You're getting to understand. Also, by the way, the webinar I go more in depth about the vetting process and what I mean by vetting and all of that. But nonetheless, um, you're picking and choosing and figuring out who meets the criteria and who doesn't, and the ones who don't meet the criteria, you vet them out. "No, thank you. Nice had a nice time, but no thanks." And you find more guys to bring into that, dating, circle, your dating pool, so that you can, your roster, if you will, so that you can be figuring out, like, "Hey, do I want to maybe focus my time and energy on dating just one of these guys?" And you have the exclusivity conversation, which I've talked about, and that is still before committed relationship. There's a fine line between dating exclusively or being exclusive and committing to a relationship, a committed relationship, which is to say, with exclusive dating, yes, you are only going on dates with that person. You've decided you've risen to the top of this pool of people I'm dating and I want to continue to get to know you and us only focus on getting to know each other. So we're not dating other people, we're not talking to other people, all of that. And yet we have not decided that we're trying to do life together. We have not decided that we're trying to merge things more. We have not decided that when it comes to me making big choices for my life and you making big choices for your life, that I'm actually factoring you into that in any significant way. That's committed relationship territory. That's we're trying to walk the path of life together. But exclusively dating is that stopgap in between casually dating and committed relationship. And you are continuing to go out to date to get to know each other more and more. Maybe you're meeting each other's kids and maybe it's all that sort of stuff because you want to know what that dynamic is like with each other's kids before you actually commit, right? So casually date. Go on the dating apps, go out in person to social events, do networking events. So I've gone on and on in episodes about where to meet people, how to meet people, all of that sort of thing. My point is, my challenge to you is to hold back on that urge and desire to like get exclusive with this guy who you just really like. And then let me back up a little bit. Then there are those of you who are getting exclusive with guys like in the DMs on a dating app, which is wild and ill advised. Just because you're having a good time chatting back and forth with him, don't go 3, 4, 5 weeks, 6 months just talking to somebody and building up a dream in your head of what he must be like and how it's gonna be great, and you ain't even gone on a date with this person. and maybe never will because it's just the guys who just like to hang out in the DMs and the women who like to hang out in the DMs because of various things, concerns, insecurities, fear, rejection, loneliness. But then if you do get around to actually meeting the person, you've built up this idea of them, and you don't even know if in person you're attracted to them or they're attracted to you. You don't know if there's good chemistry or not. You don't know how they act. You don't know how they treat you. You don't know any of this stuff. So don't build up ideas about a person until you've gotten to really meet them and hang out with them and spend time with them in public so that you can see how they are with other people. Um, so don't do that. The Date Better program, I go into that very much so, about one-sided exclusivity, getting exclusive too soon, all of these sort of things. You must have an exclusivity conversation, which I would not go into detail about here in this episode. There's other content that talks about that. But what I'm saying is, I want you to resist that urge to be like, oh, but I'm just having a good time. And, you know, um, there's this thing too where, like, you or the other person or both will act exclusive, being like, "Oh, I happen not to be dating anyone else right now, so even though, we didn't have an exclusivity conversation, we're just seeing each other, I'm just seeing them," and that's dangerous, it's dangerous, because then you feel like, right, you're doing something wrong or problematic if you do meet somebody and wanna go out with them. If you and and a person you're dating have not said, "Hey, we want to date only each other," and we both agree on that, then there's no agreement. Whether it's in your head or their head, there's no agreement because this is how feelings get hurt and people get upset and frustrated because then one person's moving one way and the other person's moving another way. You owe it to yourself and have the responsibility to yourself to be a big girl and to tell somebody like, "Hey, this is where I am with this situation." All right. So date casually. I want you to right now, if there's only one person who you're talking to or dating, I want you to go on an app and I want you to like some profiles and DM somebody who you are interested in based on their profile and start talking to them and see if you get on a date. That's what I want you to do and report back. That's it. Short and sweet. Just bam, bam, bam. Just giving you the challenges. This is not as handholdy as it would be if we're working together on a long-term basis, like in a program or something. It's just not. I'm just giving you the challenge. The idea is that if you lean into these challenges and do these things, you will be dating in a more empowered way, more efficiently, effectively, and enjoyably. It takes practice, it takes work, it takes effort, it takes trying new things, it takes pushing through some of those barriers and fears. I'm just here to this challenge is just about giving it to you straight on the things that I really, really encourage you to do and to try. All right.